Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Ibrahim and I've helped over 1,000 people with their NHS job applications. If you've ever opened the NHS Jobs website and thought, where do I even begin? You're not alone. We receive hundreds of messages from people saying, how do they navigate the whole NHS Jobs process? We're going to cover how to first of all find the right role, and we're going to then sort of complete the application form together and what happens after you've submitted your application. So everyone starts first of all on the NHS Jobs website. So what you're going to do is you can search by either job title, location, or NHS Trust, whatever suits you best. The process is fairly simple. Obviously, the less criteria that you're really fussy about, the wider the range of results, you're going to get more job results. So for example, if you're looking for a radiographer role, and if you're fairly flexible about location, you can just put radiographer job title, and it'll bring you all the radiographer roles in the NHS. Now, if you put, for example, radiographer 5 miles from Leeds, obviously this is going to massively narrow down the number of job postings that are going to come up on the search function. So now let's switch to a short screen recording of one application that I've done earlier. You're going to see how the whole process works, and we're going from finding the jobs to applying for the job to submitting the application. So we're going to go through NHS Jobs and how to apply for the jobs on the official NHS Jobs website. As a reminder, the URL is jobs.nhs.uk. You can just accept cookies there. If you've not signed in, you just click on the button in the top right hand corner and it will let you sign in. If you've not signed in before, you've not got an account, you can just create an account as well. Just follow the instructions. It's really simple. Quick pause before we continue. I want to show you a brand new tool I built that will seriously make your NHS job search faster, easier, and way less stressful. Let me show you how you can apply for an NHS job and prepare for the interview in under 60 seconds. First, I complete my profile so the tool understands exactly who I am. Now let's apply to an NHS job together. I search for a role, choose this one and copy the person specification and job description. I then paste this into the generator and just like that, there it is. A fully tailored, personalized, role-specific supporting information section created automatically. Now I'm going to prep for the interview. I generate intelligent interview questions using the Smart Assistant, type in my answers and instantly receive feedback on how to improve them. After that, I revise using flashcards. I simply paste in the job description and the tool generates custom flashcards so I can start practicing straight away. Finally, I add the job to my tracker to keep everything organized. A process that normally takes hours, now done in minutes. If you want access, email info@healthhireuk.com to get started. And once you come onto the home page, it's quite nice and simple. It's got help and guidance sections. If there's any updates, it's got it here. Any sort of frequently asked questions, you can explore them there. And they have got sort of a YouTube guidance as well. And further information sort of at the bottom here. And if you've got any queries regarding using the NHS job system, then you can obviously always email these guys or you can give them a call on these particular times that they're open. So it's quite a sort of open system. It's quite easy to use. In terms of what you're going to be doing, you're going to be searching for jobs and then you're going to be managing your application. So we're going to do that today. So when you're searching for jobs, you can search, you can leave some of these empty. So you can leave all of them empty. And let's see what happens. It will bring you all of the jobs in the NHS. That's 11,647 jobs found. So you don't need to actually search with any criteria. But you can search just by, for example, just by job titles. So you can look at healthcare assistants in the whole of the UK, which is 7,648 jobs. Or you can just look at, for example, healthcare assistant jobs in Leeds. And that'll show you all 143 jobs with that job title within 5 miles of Leeds. Once you actually put your search through, you can create a job alert, and you can create whatever search you've got there, your last search, it will create that as a job alert. So you don't need to go onto the website every day. In fact, it'll come to your email inbox with them details. Otherwise, when you're sort of searching, once you put your search in, you can then put more filters in, according to working pattern if you're looking for a full part-time job. contract type, fixed term, permanent, etc., etc., pay range, and you can look at the NHS pay grades and schemes. You can put your own filters in there, and then the jobs will just filter according to that, according to what you've put. A word of warning, there is some jobs on here that are not actual NHS jobs. If you look at this one here, this is a private company, and we can see that this is a completely different website, a completely different phone number, and a completely different logo. In this case, if you're wanting to work for the NHS, you don't want to apply for this type of company. It's most likely a company that is providing training for the NHS. Otherwise, you just go onto the job advert, and when it's an actual NHS job, you can see that there is the NHS logo there. So let's look at a job now. Let's search for a job. So let's say we're looking for a healthcare assistant job. Let's put Leeds and let's see what comes up. So we search there. We've got 143 jobs. We can see there's some jobs here which are not NHS, and then let's find one that is NHS. So this one is Leeds Teaching Hospitals, and we can see that this is an NHS job. So we could start the application for the job, and we can just continue here. So once you've done one application, your personal details, right to work status, qualifications, training and job history, your further information and equal opportunities will be saved to your profile. So that means that you don't need to complete these sections again and again. It's just one section that you need to complete, and that is a supporting evidence, all the supporting information. And we've got a separate video on structuring your response to the supporting information. In most cases, they're going to be asking you in a few ways. One is that they will ask you just for the supporting information, and in that case, you can structure it as you wish. In other cases, they're going to ask you for the essential criteria and desirable criteria and ask you how you meet each of these. And in that case, obviously, you just respond to these. And the third way is like this, where they're asking you how do you meet these particular criteria, and you just answer accordingly. We have got a better video on the supporting information and how to structure your responses, and that will be quite useful. But once you've done all of this, all of these will change color to green or blue, and it will then let you submit your application. It's always a good idea before submitting your application to just have a quick read through your application, or get somebody to have a read through for you, and that just gives everyone a bit of a better indication of what's going on. And sometimes you might have made an error that you don't really spot until you sort of get to reading it in a few hours time. So that's always a good idea. But once you've done that, you can submit your application, and that's the NHS Jobs website for you. Just one more thing, if you click into your profile, you can then see your applications. You can see any active applications, old applications, etc., etc. So it's quite simple to follow up, and all your messages will come through the email that you've registered with this. So make sure it's your email address that you do check regularly. Once you've submitted the application, you should immediately get a confirmation email, and on the NHS Jobs website, it should have changed as application submitted. And that means that it has now officially been sent to the employer. And now this is the nerve-wracking time. Because you've done all these steps, you've followed all our instructions, you've got a really good chance of actually being called to interview. Most people are not spending enough time on their applications, and most people are not reviewing the applications. They're not spending enough time on the supporting information. Doing all of this really does make a difference. So you can probably breathe a little easier that you followed all these instructions, you've met the person specification, you've written the supporting information according to the person specification. That means we're now in a top position to be shortlisted for interview. The time period for waiting for, when you're going to hear back rather from the team can vary. So in some instances, they actually mention on the job advert that a shortlisting date has been set, which is when they're going to review all the applications, and then they would let you know after this date. In other jobs, you're just going to have to wait. It can be a matter of weeks sometimes, and sometimes it's a matter of days. Once this process has been completed, the hiring manager will just put a notification again through the NHS Jobs. So you should receive an email, or you can log back into your portal sort of fairly regularly, and you can see if you've been invited to interview. The first time is always the most difficult one, but once you've done the first NHS applications, like we mentioned, your details are saved. You now know how the whole process works, and your future applications are going to take less time, and you're going to get much better at them. It is a volume game. Sometimes you just need to get through the applications, and you are going to naturally get better each time you submit one of these applications. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you've got any questions regarding the NHS applications, writing the supporting information, anything else that you've got a question about, just drop them in the comments section. I do like to read them all and I will try to get back to you. If you found the video useful, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I would really appreciate if you do consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. We built HealthHire to make NHS applications so much easier, from writing your supporting information tailored for each role to practicing real interview questions with feedback. It's all here. Grab lifetime access for just £70 and start applying with confidence. Email us at info@healthhireuk.com.